I'm going to start anyway. I was thinking about doing this class in order to review some aspects of the not only the grammar but also the speaking test that we're going to have on Thursday and Friday. So anyway, I'm going to do it. The first thing that I'm going to start doing is to share with you the parts of for the speaking test. Okay. That is the first thing that I'm going to do. Wait for a little while. Yeah. I'm going to review this part because this is the thing that we're going to do in the speaking test. We're going to take two parts. The part one, which is the interview, and the part two, which is the individual long term. Okay. What is the interview? You know the interview. Okay. And what is being tested in here? That part focuses on your general interaction and your social language skills. I am sharing the screen now at this moment. So I imagine that you can see this, right? Okay, so it says here, Ricardo. Okay, Ricardo, are you there? Hello, Ricardo? I can't hear you. You have to unmute. You are muted. Can you talk? I want to know if you can see. I am sharing the screen at this moment. Okay, let's see. Ricardo? No. There you go. Can you hear me, Ricardo? Hello. Ricardo, I can't hear you. Are you there? Well, I don't know what's going on with you because you are muted at this moment. And anyway, I was working with the speaking test. Okay, so I'm going to continue working with that because I can't hear you at this moment. So if you can connect, please try to communicate with me. There you go, Ricardo.
Hello.
Hello.
Sorry,
Okay.
my screen was loading and I couldn't activate the microphone.
Yeah, okay. So today, as I said before, we're going to have kind of a review. Remember that on Thursday, we're going to have the speaking test and Friday, the use of English. I was telling, I was recording anyway, but I was saying that the speaking is going to be based in two parts, the interview and the long term. Okay, I think that we are clear with the interview, in which you have to answer questions. Okay, for example, what you have to do in here, it says examiner will ask you and the other candidate for some personal information. You will be asked different questions about things such as what you do in your spare time, your work studies, and your future plans. And this will take around 2 minutes. In this part, I can also ask you about things or topics that we have covered during the 3 units. For example, neighborhoods, for example, your place, where you live, etc. How would you like to share, how would you like to change probably the place where you live, about your house, etc. That was one topic. Another topic that we were covering in the in these 3 units, for example, we had also, oh, I lost communication, right? Type of communication that you had, for example, if you used a lot the cell phones, etc. So those are also topic. And the last topic that we covered was old age, how we communicated with old people. Okay, so in this interview, I can ask you personal things, but also some other things that you are supposed to study for the test. Okay, is it clear?
Okay.
I like to read this because it gives you some tips on how to work for this interview. So let's read it first, Ricardo. You are going to read. Okay, what do you have to do, for example?
In what part?
Here. What do you have to do? Are you?
Oh, sorry. What do you have to do? The examiner will ask you and the other candidate for some personal information.
Yeah.
You will be asked different questions about things such as what you do in your spare time, your work, studies, and your future plans. This will take around 2 minutes.
Okay, what are the strategies? You have many strategies there. So read the strategies now.
Strategies, okay. Avoid giving one-word answers. Add detail, but not too much. Try to sound
What does that
interesting.
mean? Sorry, Ricardo. What does that mean? It means that you have to be very concise, very precise. Okay. You don't have to talk too much, but you don't have to talk too little. All right. So you have to be precise, but it's not recommended to give one-word answers because that it implies that your English is poor. Okay, continue.
Yeah, the typical yes or no.
Right. Yes.
Try to sound interesting. Don't speak in a monotone. Speak clearly. Try to speak confidently and look relaxed. If you don't know a word, say it in another way. Don't leave long pauses.
Okay, so the idea here is that you have to paraphrase if it is necessary. If you don't remember a word, you can paraphrase and then say the same thing in a different way. Okay, continue.
Yeah. Listen carefully both to the examiner and to your partner. If you don't understand the question, ask for it to be repeated. Give relevant personal answers, but don't speak for too long.
Precise, concise.
Yeah.
Okay, that is in terms of the interview. Okay, what about the long term? So in here, let's read this because in here we have worked a little bit less, but now today we're going to work a little bit on this. Okay, read that please. What is being tested?
In part 2, the focus is on your fluency and your ability to organize your ideas and express yourself clearly. You will have to make comparisons and speculate about the situations in the pictures.
Here, they are going to show you pictures, right? So you will have to make comparisons and you have to speculate because sometimes you don't know what is going to happen, but you can speculate. You can say, maybe this guy wants to do this or wants to do that, etc. So you can speculate so as to talk a little bit longer in this case. Okay, what do you have to do, Ricardo?
You are given 3 pictures on the same topic. You listen to the task, which is also printed on the page with the pictures. The examiner will ask you 2 questions about the pictures. You must answer the questions by comparing 2 of the pictures. You can choose which pictures you want to talk about. You are given 1 minute to do both parts of the task. You then listen to the other candidate speaking and look at their photos. When they have finished, you have to give a short answer to a question related to the topic.
Right? Okay, so this is what you are going to be offered at that moment. They're going to show you images.
What page is this
I think
in the
this
book?
is 205, I think it is.
205. Okay.
Okay.
Yes. Thank
Yeah,
you.
205. All right. So this is the idea. They show you pictures, then you have to express yourself clearly, make comparisons, speculate, okay? And then you're going to compare the images, and then you're going to answer one question. And that would be around 1 minute, okay? Then
Okay.
what is the strategy, Ricardo?
Listen carefully to the instructions. It's important that you understand exactly what you need to talk about. Ask the examiner to repeat the instructions if necessary, but remember that the instructions are also written above the pictures. Summarize the main similarities and any differences between two of the pictures. Talk about the general to just to describe the pictures or go off topic. You will need to speculate and give your opinion, especially about the second part of the task.
Okay, this is important. To summarize the main similarities and differences. So you have to compare between the two pictures. Talk about the general ideas and don't be tempted just to describe the pictures. That's not the task. It's not to describe what you're seeing. You have to compare, find similarities, differences, and also you can give an opinion later. Okay?
Yes.
Okay. Continue. Make sure, number 3.
Make sure both questions. Keep talking for the whole minute. Use paraphrases and fillers if necessary. The examiner will say thank you when the minute is finished. Listen carefully while the other candidate is speaking and look at their pictures, but don't interrupt. When the examiner asks you a question related to the pictures, give a short answer.
That's right. Okay, so those are the ideas and the strategies, okay, that you have to follow. I think that the one related with the interview is easier because you are asked directly about something. But this one, the long term, is a little bit more complicated because you have to describe, you have to compare, make similarities, find similarities and differences, and then you will also have to give your own opinion. Okay?
Yeah.
So that's the difference. Now, we're going to try to do something like this, Ricardo. Okay?
Okay.
Let's see. There you go. Can you see the images?
Yes.
Okay. It says here, student A, here are your pictures. They show people putting up messages. I'd like you to compare two of the pictures and say why the people might be putting up the messages and what sort of reaction they might get. And then student B is going to answer this question. Do you think putting up messages is good? It's a good way to help people remember and think? Okay. Those are the two questions. Why are the people putting up the messages and what sort of reaction might they get? Can you see the images well? Maybe
yes.
I put them a little bit bigger. Wait, just for you to see it better. Okay. Can you read what it is said, right?
What?
Can you read what they are? For example, in there you have the vacancies, lost dog. In here, you can't read anything.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, all right. So, question. So the first thing, so they show people putting up messages. I'd like you to compare two of the pictures, say why the people might be putting up the messages and what sort of reaction they might get. Okay, Ricardo.
Okay, so I have to compare.
Yeah, compare
two.
Find differences, find similarities.
Do I have to answer the questions or?
Yeah.
Okay. In the first picture, I can see a woman putting up a message on a board about job vacancies. And I suppose she's looking for a candidate for some kind of job. And in this third picture, there's a group of boys putting up a message about a lost dog. I think it's their dog, their pet, and that is lost, and they are trying to find it. Um, I don't know. The images are similar, but they are looking for different things. One is related to an occupation or a profession, maybe, and the other one is related to a lost pet. But they both are trying to communicate something. And they are looking for something, and that's what I find similar in the two pictures.
Mm-hmm. And what sort of reaction might they get?
And what sort of reaction might they get? I don't understand that question. What sort of
reaction that people are going to how people are going to react when they read these messages or when they see these messages? Because in the image in the middle, it's a different type of message, right? So what
Yes.
are they planning to get with these messages?
Well, in the first picture, the woman is hoping to find a good candidate for the job, and she expects to receive some phone calls, I think, and the boys are in the same situation. They are waiting. They are called of someone who maybe found their dog.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so they are expected to find the dog, right? Okay, and well, we are over time. Okay, I'm leaving you to communicate your ideas. Remember that in that moment, in the speaking time, we're going to have just a specific time, like 2 minutes, and then you have to be very concise and precise. All right?
Yeah.
You make a comparison between job vacancies and lost dog. Now let's talk a little bit. What do you think is the message that the guy in the middle is trying to communicate? What is his message?
I don't know what he's doing.
Yes, I think it's doing a graffiti.
He's doing a graffiti?
Right, I think so. It seems to me.
Yeah, maybe.
What do you think those people want to communicate with graffitis? Is it the same idea?
No.
So?
I think he's not expecting a direct reaction. I mean, he wants to communicate something to the community. He expects people to look at the graffiti and maybe change their mindset or something like that to communicate maybe a political idea or social message.
Yeah.
That's what we generally find in the
Graffitis.
walls.
Yeah,
Yeah,
right. So in here you can see that there are two different types of reaction in the
yeah,
in the two extreme pictures. They are sending a message and they wait for a reaction that can be instant, while in
yeah,
the other, in the one in between the other two pictures, he's probably asking for a, he's leaving a message, but the answer is not instant. It's
yeah,
something that might be permanent in there, right? He wants a message that can be permanent. In the other ones, it's like a temporary message.
yeah. He's trying to convey an idea, I think.
Yeah. What about the, I'm going to ask you the question for the student B. Do you think putting up messages is a good way to help people remember things?
Yeah, of course. Um, for example, yesterday, um, I saw a paper on the walls and about the anniversary of Universidad de Chile,
Yeah.
and that night they I don't know, launched fireworks,
Yeah.
and I didn't know what was happening at the moment. But then I remember, oh yes, today is the anniversary of Universidad de Chile,
Yeah.
and I thought they should be celebrating maybe.
Right. Okay. Do you use this kind of things in order to remember things yourself?
Not
Or
really.
do you trust on your memory?
Yeah, I try to trust on my memory,
I think it's trust
but
in. It's trust
yeah,
in your
sorry,
memory.
trust in my
In your memory.
memory,
Yeah.
but my memory tends to um, forget things easily.
Yeah.
You
Okay.
know, Finding Nemo?
Yeah. Right. Yes.
Yeah, I always feel identified with the character Dory.
Yeah.
She's so forgetful,
Yeah. Okay. But don't you
and
use like,
so am I.
yeah, don't you use tips like, for example, those little papers that sometimes you put in some places in order to remember things?
And no, I'm not used to do that thing, but I sometimes I write my reminders on pieces of papers, but the problem is that I forget where I put
The
the
reminders.
paper.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Right.
the reminders.
Yeah. Well, it's the same happens to me. I am very forgetful. But I remember that when we shared the office with Miss Patty, she has an excellent memory. I mean, she remembers every time. So I trusted in her all the time. You know, she was my permanent
Yeah.
memory because she was telling me all the time, Ricardo, we have to do this. Ricardo, we have to do that. So I was all the time, you know, like hearing her, listening to her, and she was telling me, um, you know, this is what we have to do. In other things, for example, when I have to remember birthdays and things like that, I trust in my wife. She's the one who remembers birthdays, who remembers things. I remember, but not all the time, you know. And one thing that I remember is that one day, 1 year, I can't remember now. I don't know if it was for my birthday, but she gave me a small whiteboard size, you know, like this size. a whiteboard like this size, and I remember that I put it at the back of my desk, and then I wrote things. But sometimes I forgot to write things, I forgot to write things, but I think that it helped me a lot, because when it was very important, I used to write it. I have a meeting, for example, I have to do this, I have to do that, and I wrote it. And that is good sometimes. Okay.
Yeah, you know that cell phones are harmful to memory?
Why?
Yeah, because we rely on cell phones too much. We use it as a reminder. For example, yeah, when I don't know, we have to take a pill.
Yeah.
And we don't use the brain.
Yeah, right. Well, we trust in our cell phones. We use the alarm, for example,
Yeah.
to wake up in the morning. We use the alarm to take a pill, for example. And sometimes, for example, all the how do you say, the keys, or I forgot the word, the passwords. All the passwords that you have, I have it in my cell phone, because
Yeah.
I try to keep the same password, but sometimes they force you to change the password. So you start forgetting, I have like one in my mind. So, but then when I have forgotten, when I have changed the password, I wrote it in there. For example, bank such and such password, and I wrote it in there. I write in there, because in that way I am going to, if I can't remember, I use myself. It's a good way to remember things. Okay, Ricardo, pretty good. Okay, so that's the idea. That is one thing that you're going to have for the test, for the speaking test. I'm going to ask you some questions first, and then the second part is going to be a long term, in which you will have to describe pictures, compare, and talk. That is going to be kind of the speaking test. What we haven't done is who is going to go with whom, right? For example, I don't know if you have already fixed your classmate, the person who is going to be with you for the test.
Yes, I'm going to do it with Giselle.
Yeah, with Giselle, right? Yes. Do you know about the others?
I'm not sure, but Melissa told me that she will work with Camila.
Camila.
Yes,
yeah.
Camila Lascano.
Camila Lascano, yeah. So it would be Giselle and you, Camila and Vanessa. Vanessa,
Melissa.
No. Melissa. I always look at my memory. Melissa. Then we have...
and the other ones, I have no idea.
Yeah, Francisca, Natalia, Tamara. And I don't know about the other girl, but I think they didn't come to the writing test. I don't know if they are going to continue working with the speaking test. Okay? Because I have missed too many classes, but I don't know. I really don't know. So they, that would be the other three that they will be missing. So I would like you to start with Giselle. Yeah, we're going to start at 8:15. At 8:15. 8:15. Because at 6:30, the people from the Vespertino have classes. Okay, so it's kind of complicated. So we're going to be like 3 groups. Okay, you and Giselle,
Melissa y Camila.
Melissa and Camila, and then you have Francisca, Tamara, and Natalia.
Yeah.
And I don't know if the other girl that sometimes comes would be like 2 more pairs.
Yeah, Nicole Suazo.
No, it's not. Nicole would be with Nicole. I can't remember Nicole, Francisca, and Tamara. But there is another girl, the one from Los Andes, that sometimes comes. Yeah, I can't remember. I think it's Macarena.
Ah,
Macarena,
Macarena. Okay.
Macarena didn't come for the last test. I don't know what happened that day. Okay, but anyway, so we're going to start with you, then with the other group, Vanessa, Melissa.
Yes,
Yeah, and then the other three or four. Okay,
Melissa.
so at 8:15, we're going to start. Okay, yeah. Now, I would like to go into the grammar aspect. Okay. Let's see. Let's see. I'm going to stop sharing here. Yeah, the topics that we have, are the following, the grammar aspects. Let's see. We have the perfect and continuous forms that include perfect, past perfect, simple, and past perfect continuous. Future perfect and future perfect continuous. Okay? We have to take a look at the articles. I know that you know that, okay, but you have to review that. Defining and non-defining relative clauses, countable and uncountable nouns. And I think that the most probably emphasis with the inversion and introductory it. Those are the topics that we are going to work with. But I'm going to, yes, any question?
And yes, we have the use of English on Friday, if I not wrong.
Yeah,
Okay.
on Friday. That is on Friday. Let me, yeah, I'm going to share some of the things. Well, the future continuous and the future perfect. Okay. I'm going to review this, okay, because we already see that. We already saw that. Yeah, for example, the future continuous is will plus be plus present participle or ing. In 3 years' time, I'll be studying medicine. In 5 years' time, I have finished studying medicine. What is the difference between those two sentences? For what you see, Ricardo. I'll be studying, I have finished studying.
In the first one, the person is saying that he or she will be studying in 3 years more, and 3 more years, sorry. And in the second one, the person wants to communicate that in 5 years, the course will be finished.
Okay, yeah. Okay, so I will be studying, I will have finished. So
yeah, that one, period of actually, 3 years, she or he will be at that moment studying the course.
Yeah. So in the first one, the action is in progress.
Yes.
And the second one, the action is finished.
Finished, done. Yeah.
I have
completely
finished studying, right? So that is the idea. In the first one, you use, the structure is will be plus ing. That's it. And the second one is will have past participle, and then it could go with another ing form. Yeah. Okay. Future continuous, future perfect is probably the most difficult one. It says here, read this, please, Ricardo. Ricardo, yeah. Future perfect.
Future perfect. We use the future perfect simple will, won't, have plus past participle to talk about something that will be completed before a specific time in the future. The guests are coming at 8 p.m. I'll have finished cooking by then. On 9 October, we'll have been married for 50 years. Will you have gone to bed when I get back?
Okay. Now, if you can tell me, for example, if we can talk about your future, what will be happening and what will have happened in your life, do you believe? What things are going to be done? Let's think in 3 more years.
Um,
What things will be done in your life?
well, I'm sure that in 3 more years I will have finished my studies,
Right? Okay.
and I will have um I will have what things 3 years.
Will you
I
have
will have
started?
moved from my parents' home, perhaps.
Yeah, you will
I'm
have
not sure
moved.
that that will happen, but yeah,
You can
that's
use
a
in that case.
possibility.
You can use in that case. You can use the present perfect and future perfect continuous. What will you be doing in 3 more years?
Oh yes, there I can say that I will be living in my parents' home.
I
That's
won't be
more,
living in my parents' home.
yeah, that's more realistic.
Will you have started your professional career? What do you think?
Yeah, I think I will have started my professional career. I hope so.
Okay.
And
Will you be
I will be working at a school,
right? Okay.
probably. Highly.
Will you have married? Will you have got married by that time? 3 more years?
No. No, I cannot think of getting married until 30 years old, I think.
Why so specific 30 years old? Why not 29 or 31, 32 or 33? Why so specific in 30? Is it like
Because
or
that's the end of a decade and the beginning of a new one. And it's time for a change.
yeah, okay. Okay. What do you think about this terrible illness that we are suffering, this terrible virus? What do you think will have happened in I don't know 3 more years?
Um, with the COVID-19.
Yes, yes.
um, in 3 more years, the pandemic um, will have disappeared.
Hopefully, yes,
Hopefully.
right. Do you think that we will be living a normal life in 3 more years, or will we still having problems with the COVID?
Um, no, I think in 3 more years we will be living a new reality, maybe,
Hmm?
and the new normality.
Yeah,
You know that that's the new concept they try to convince us.
yeah, right. Yeah, it's kind of problematic, but yeah, this may happen. This may happen. Okay,
Yeah.
so this kind of the idea when we talk about will be living or will have done something. The
Mm,
difference is that in the first one, we will be doing something. The action is still in progress, while in the other thing is something that we will have completed in the future, at a certain moment in the future. Okay. So
yes.
for that thing, you have to use will have and the participle. Yeah. And for the other is will be plus ing. Okay. Remember the other thing that we studied in this first unit, we worked a little bit with stative verbs and action verbs. Do you remember? And we learned that stative verbs cannot be used normally, with exception, they cannot be used with ing.
Yes. For
Example,
example, love
mhm,
or things like that.
yeah, hate.
Yeah.
Those verbs have, in many cases, when it means possession. Yeah, in that case, you cannot use it with ing. It's not a. In that case, it's a stative verb. Okay, so we gave a list of verbs that normally cannot be used in ing, with exceptions. For example, have could be stative, but it can also be action. When it is action, when you're talking about food, for example, or
Yeah.
meals. Yeah, I can be having breakfast at a certain moment, because to have breakfast is not like have, it's not possession, it's like an action, right?
Yes. Or having fun, I think
Yeah, right. Yes.
also correct.
Yeah, those cases that you have to review those verbs, which are stative verbs,
Yeah.
yeah, that you normally don't use. Belong, for example, it's not, you're not belonging. You belong to a group or not. Okay, there are many verbs of those verbs that cannot be used in with ing. Now the other thing that we saw or we studied with with in progress or past perfect, was the past perfect. Yeah. And when do we use the past perfect tense? Okay, he couldn't make a sandwich because he had forgotten to buy bread. Okay, the past perfect is the past of the past. Yeah, yeah.
Yes.
So they didn't make a sandwich. Why? Because before that they had forgotten to buy the bread.
Mm,
Okay, so the past perfect goes before another time in the past. Okay, and there you have
yes.
some examples. The hotel was full, so I was glad that we had booked in advance. Okay, when we arrived at the hotel, it was full, but we had booked before that moment. Okay,
Yes.
we were talking about the past. We went to a hotel, the hotel was full, past. But before that, we had booked. So for that reason, we had space in the hotel. My new job wasn't exactly what I had expected. Okay.
Yeah.
Yep. Okay. So this is the idea of had plus past perfect. Um, but sometimes in the past, we were doing something. So that action was in progress. Yeah. Uh, when the earthquake began, uh, for example, we had been painting the walls for an hour. Yeah. Yeah. It's also past of the past, but it indicates a certain progression. All right. At that
Okay.
moment, we had been painting. We had been painting for more than an hour. When something happened in the past, we had been doing something. Okay. And that is the idea of the past perfect progressive. They're very similar, right? Sometimes you can use both. You can use both.
Yeah, that's a little bit tricky in the tests because in some cases both are correct, and I don't know what to use.
Yeah, it's kind of a complicated, but usually there is something that indicates you, right?
Yeah.
There is something, some little thing that indicates you that the action was happening and not that had happened. Yeah. At 2 o'clock, they had already finished.
Yeah.
Yeah. But you know that you have to read the sentence in order to know. But the thing is to have the structure very clear. Had plus past participle, had been plus past participle, had been plus ing, had been working, had been studying, had studied, had worked. Yep. But I mean, you can use both of them, all right? Okay. Here you have, I think that I sent you this, so you can do it. For example, there are certain grammar tests. Yeah, for example, in here you have, by the time I could talk to her, she to quit her job. She decided, or she had decided?
She had decided?
She had decided.
Yeah.
Here, I think that is a difference between simple past and past perfect. So this is very clear. Yeah, because in the past simple, usually you have like a specific moment. The other one is before that.
Yeah.
For example, number 2, I looked at the photo and suddenly realized that I had man somewhere before.
I'd seen.
I'd seen that man somewhere before.
Yeah, before, that's the word that indicates
yeah, right.
that
it was
time.
Before the other time.
Yes.
Before that past. First, I the salad, then I toasted the bread.
First, I made
the salad, then I toasted. Yeah. And also you have then in there, so past and past, you can change that. Okay, so here you have some examples and some tests. Okay. I think I sent you this. Okay, yeah, but you anyway, if you want to do more exercises, you can get into any of the pages, and you will have hundreds of exercises that you can do, and they are also in different levels. So you can go into the most difficult one so as to try to improve what you know. Okay. Yeah. Let's see now. Yeah, let's go into the inversion. What do you remember about inversion, Ricardo? When do we use inversion? What for?
Inversion is used to emphasize what we want to say.
Yeah, to emphasize. And what do we have to do in order to make inversion?
We have to invert the prepositional phrase with the adverb, if I'm not wrong.
Yeah, first of all, instead of, usually the adverbs go at the end.
Yes.
Usually or normally in a normal sentence in English, the adverbs go after the verb. They go at the end of the sentence. Now, in here we start by the adverb, but that's not the only inversion that we have to do. What other inversion we have to do? We have to change the order of a sentence. Normally, the sentence in English is subject, verb, complement, or subject, verb form, because you know verb could be not always is the verb only. Sometimes it's verb form, like for example, have worked, present perfect, or were playing, past continuous, or are studying, present continuous, or will be doing something, future continuous, etc. So you have different, sometimes you have the verb in the simple present and simple past, you have only the verb. Yeah. But in the other, you have some, structures. So you have to invert, and then you have to put first the auxiliary verb and then the subject.
Mm.
Yeah. For example, if you say, I will be working, then you have to invert. Will is acting as an auxiliary verb of future. So you say, will I?
Yes.
And the rest. Okay. So that's kind of the idea, inversion. When you have only, for example, one verb and you don't know, you have to use the auxiliary that you use for the negative or the question. For example, they went. Yeah, they went.
Yeah.
Hardly did they go.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, see, so you have to use, in the case of simple past, you have to use did. In the case of simple present, you have to use do or does and invert it before the verb, before the subject. So it is the same as a question, but the only thing that the structure of the sentence is a question, but it's not a question. Okay, that's the idea in general.
Yeah.
Okay, so it says here, structures involving inversions are used in formal language to create emphasis. What you said, they are normally used after a negative phrase placed at the beginning of a sentence. For example, not only did they express their disagreement, but they also left the room. Okay, in there, you are using did because it's a past sentence, right? As you don't have an auxiliary verb for the affirmative, then you have to use the one that you used for the question. And that is the idea. Not only did they express. Yeah. Then you have, says here, rephrase the following sentences using emphatic structures involving inversion. For example, they had hardly started the meeting when the manager received a message. The meeting when the manager received a message.
First is hardly, then had, hardly had they started the meeting.
Yeah, that's right.
When the manager, yeah.
Okay, hardly had they started the meeting. All right.
Yeah.
She rarely allowed strangers to enter her house.
Rarely did she allow strangers to enter her house.
That's right. I have never witnessed such display of rage.
Never have I witnessed such display of rage.
That's right. One seldom realizes how short life is.
Here we have to use do. No? Yes?
Yes.
Seldom do one realizes.
Ah, you mean in that case? No.
Yeah.
Does.
No.
Because
does. Sorry. Does.
It's third person singular. Realizes.
Yeah.
Okay. So.
Seldom, yeah, I got confused. Sorry.
Yeah.
So.
Seldom
does one realizes.
No.
How
realize.
Sorry.
That you
how
have
short life is.
That's right. Thomas little knew what the future held in store for him.
Did Thomas? No. Little did Thomas know what the future held in store for him.
That's right. Okay.
Yeah.
That's the way you have to do it. Okay. Then in here it's kind of complicated because you have to use all the structures.
Yes.
You have to know when to use, for example, auxiliary verbs, when you have to use the same verbs that you have in there. So it's kind of, it's tricky. Yeah, but you have to
Yeah.
study. When you have the auxiliary in there, it's less complicated. Yeah. Okay. So it's in that case, it's, for example, number 7, you should on no account provide any confidential information to a stranger. How would you do it?
On no account should you provide any confidential information
to a stranger. That's right.
Yeah.
Okay, now in here there is another aspect that you can see. Let's see. I was observing. Inversion with negative adverbials. It says here, try to read it. Read that, please, Ricardo.
Inversion with negative adverbials. In formal English and in written language in particular, we use negative adverbials at the beginning of the sentence to make it more emphatic or dramatic. The word order is inverted. The negative adverbial is placed first, an auxiliary verb follows it, and the subject of the sentence comes next. And the inversion of the subject and the verb can take place after a clause that begins with not until and only after, if, when. Time adverbials never, before, rarely, seldom, barely, hardly, scarcely, when, before, no sooner than. Only a time expression, only when, only after. Negative expressions, under, in no circumstances, in no way. Expressions starting with not a noun, not only, but also, not until. Little with a negative meaning.
Okay, here you have some examples. Yeah, look at the following examples. Never have I encountered such rudeness. Extract from a letter of complaint about the service in a restaurant. Look at that, the emphasis that he put. Never have I encountered. Yeah. Not only is Amanda Swift a gifted musician, but she is also good-natured and responsible. Extract from a covering letter. No sooner had he locked the door than the phone started ringing. Only when the last person had left did she sit down and try to relax, etc. Okay? Let's see if we can do this. Never I meet, and then you have to read the other part to know if it is present or past perfect or present perfect or past continuous or will, whatever. It says here, such well-behaved children before, they are as good as gold.
Never have I met such well-behaved children before.
Yeah, never have I met, never had I met well-behaved children before. No, never have I met. Okay, what about the other one? Let's see. You can read it. Okay. Oops.
Okay.
Never have I met such well-behaved children before. They are as good as gold. Yeah. The other one?
No sooner than my fat, no?
You have to decide, oops. You have to decide what tense you're going to use. No sooner my father sat down to dinner that there was a knock on the door. You have to start with no sooner, right?
No sooner. Did
Okay, let's see.
my father sit down to dinner?
Yeah, then there was a knock at the door. Yeah.
Mm,
You used here, you chose here the simple past. It should be
yes.
past perfect, right?
Ah,
Could be, I don't know. Let's see
okay.
what is correct and what is incorrect. Little he know that his culinary skills are quite substandard. Ah, again. Let's start with little.
Little did he know? No, little. Those are difficult. Little.
Oh, follow the end of the sentence. That his culinary skills are quite standard.
Little does he know?
Okay. Let's see then. Little does he know that his culinary skills are quite substandard. At no time I mean to hurt your feelings. It was all a big misunderstanding. But at no time, right? Oops.
Yeah, at no time. Did I mean?
To hurt your feelings. It was all a big misunderstanding. And the last one, let's do 5 only. Okay, seldom we have friends over for a drink. We prefer to meet them at pubs or restaurants. We have to start by
seldom. Seldom. Do we have?
seldom do we have friends over for a drink. We prefer to meet them at pubs or restaurants. Okay, we're going to check up to this part and see, check my test. The first one is correct. Never have I met.
Yes.
The second one is no sooner had my father sat down, past perfect. Recién se había sentado cuando ya alguien golpeó la puerta. Little does he know, yeah, that's correct, okay? At no time did I mean, that's correct. Seldom do we have. So, the other ones you didn't answer them, so, okay, you did a good job, quite a good job, only you failed in the second one.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm going to send you this anyway again, okay, for you to practice.
Okay.
Right, so I'm going to upload these pages for you to practice. Okay.
Okay.
And let's see. Here we have the past perfect progressive. But I think the other thing that was kind of complicated, I imagine, introductory it. It wasn't so difficult, but we have to remind it. Okay, introductory it. I already sent this page, but anyway, let's see and remember when to use the infinitive. I mean the it, the introductory it. Read that, please, Ricardo.
It is unusual to have an infinitive or that clause as the subject of a sentence in English. As an alternative, we use introductory it as the subject and put the infinitive or that clause later. That the Americans are friendly is a common belief. It is a common belief that the Americans are friendly.
Okay.
To be punctual is polite. It is polite to be punctual.
So when do we use it? To avoid starting with a clause or with an infinitive.
Mm.
Yeah. So in that case, we invert and we start with it. All right.
Yeah.
These are some phrases that are used with the introductory it. It is true. It is not true that. It is likely. It is unlikely that. It is essential to. It is probable that. It is better, or it is best to. We also use introductory it to introduce ideas that we just thought of. It occurred me that. It struck me that. Then you have introductory it is usually used to express general ideas or beliefs. Some people say that the environment is beyond saving. It is believed, also in this case, when you use the passive voice in this case, with general ideas. Okay, some
Yeah.
people say, instead of saying some people say, it is believed that the environment is beyond saving. They say that most people enjoy traveling. It is said that most people enjoy traveling. Okay, and which is correct in there? It is often said that you should wear what suits you, not what is fashionable. It is often said that what suits you and not what is fashionable should be worn.
Mm.
I think this is the most difficult one.
Yeah. And it's the first one.
First one. First one?
The mm,
It is often said that you should wear what
yes.
suits you, not what is
You
fashionable.
should wear what suits you, not what is fashionable. Yes.
Okay, so the first one, okay, which is correct. The company, it has announced, will cease operations in Europe. It has been announced that the company will cease operations in Europe.
Second one.
Yeah, that's very simple. Read the other two, Ricardo.
That social networks allow us to express our opinions. It is a common held belief. It is a common held belief that social networks allows us to express our opinion.
Okay, yeah, I think
And
that you got it. It's not difficult.
yeah.
Right. Yes. The other thing that I wanted, but I couldn't find exercises, it's when you have to change. They give you one word and you have to change the whole thing using from 3 to 6. But let me see if I can find it.
Oh, okay.
This is an probably I'm going to send you some exercises of that type. But
that kind of exercises are those we find at the end of the unit.
yeah, those are hard.
Yes.
Let's see. Okay, I'm going to try to share screen. Wait. Oh, we'll go. wait a minute. Let me see. Go to ends here. If I find in the maximizer. The maximizer is the exercise, the one for exercises. I don't know if this is. English. Also you have to remember this type of vocabulary, okay? Bark, buzz, groan, roar, screech, stumble, swarm, thunder, tremble, whine. Okay. You remember them?
Yeah.
Okay. All of them? If you don't, you will have to review them.
Okay? Yes.
Because it's vocabulary that it might appear in the test. Okay. Let me see if I can find any of those exercises. Sometimes we have here. We have the conversation. Here you have one. I think we did this one. Okay. Some users of Twitter have thousands of followers. Clearly, they are fascinating people. Continue.
Yes. But some of their followers are pretty silent and
Oops, there are. Can you hear?
Yes.
There is like artificial fireworks.
Yeah.
I don't know what's going on. Maybe the drug is coming. No, they stopped. They say that when the drug is coming, they are, they celebrate it with fireworks. Okay,
yeah,
so
they announced that.
Yeah. All right. So they are fascinating people. 1,000 of followers. They are fascinating people, but some of their followers are pretty silent and
it's the negative of responsive.
Probably unresponsive.
Yes. Unresponsive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Continue.
Yeah. In fact, they don't seem remotely interested in the contribution of the person they are following.
Yeah.
And there's a reason for this. They are fabricate. Fabricate. They are fabricated.
No. Fabrication. They are fabrication. Yeah.
They are fabrication. Added to the person's account by companies that sell fake social media followers to anyone hoping to boost their reputation. The number of followers a user has is often seen as an indicator of their social influence or popularity. Therefore, people such as artists or aspiring musicians might not find the idea appealing. Having thousands of followers could enhance their image as a having thousands followers could enhance their image as a and desirable a commodity, and even lead to offers of work. Although it's not illegal to sell followers, and it can be lucrative, somehow it feels un, um, unethical
Yes,
and unsatisfying. If your followers are fake, they don't care about you and certainly don't read your comments. So what's the point of tweeting at all?
yeah, that's right. Pretty good. Now no, it's the other thing that I want to find, other type of exercise, but I can't find any. Mm, uh, Squeaky. Do you remember Squeaky?
Hmm?
Do you remember Squeaky?
Squeaky?
Uh-huh.
Um,
What was the meaning of a squeaky?
um,
This is the one that I want. This type of
oh,
exercise is kind of
yeah.
complicated. It is called keyword transformation. It says, once I understood the question, I could answer it only. It was only after I had understood, see, that you have to change everything. It was only after I had understood the question that I could answer it. It's 6 years since I moved here, been.
I have been living here for 6 years.
Right. My study is full of papers. I can't get another thing on the desk, room.
And there's no room on my desk.
Right?
Or, yeah.
It's okay. It's the first time I've seen such a beautiful painting before.
First. Never have I seen before.
Never before.
Never before I have seen.
No.
No, never before have I seen such a beautiful painting.
That's right. In there is inversion. See?
Yeah.
Never before have I seen. Okay. She didn't listen to my idea at all and refused to consider it. Dismissive.
Changes.
And you can't change the word. That is the most difficult thing.
Yeah. She was dismissive of
Yeah.
of my idea.
Yeah. She was dismissive of my idea and refused. Yeah. All right. Yeah. The other one. I absolutely forbid you to tell anyone about the plan. No.
No, under no circumstances should you tell anyone about the plan.
Yeah. Under no circumstances, absolutely forbid you. And no, should you tell anyone about the plan? Yes. Okay. 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 So you got it. So that would be kind of the everything, Ricardo. Yeah, we have some other exercises here, but I think that I'm going to upload all the materials and you have to study for the test. First of all, for the speaking practice and for Thursday, remember that we are going to start with you. I cannot start earlier. I cannot start earlier because Danilo, the professor who is going to help me, cannot. He finishes at 8:15, at 8, I think. So we're going to start at 8:15. 8:15. Okay.
Okay.
So we're going to call you by that time. I mean, we're going to send you the invitation. Right. A15
Okay,
and then you
I
have to wait for the second. You're going to be the first ones and then the other two. Okay, that's all, Ricardo. I'm going to upload this for the others if they want to see it. I think that it was very beneficial in the sense that I think that we covered most of the things that you are supposed to study for the test. Okay?
okay.
Okay.
I
So,
forgot to tell you that Melissa told me that she couldn't attend class because she was sick.
all right. Okay. Yeah, she can see it later anyway. Right?
Okay.
Okay. So that's all. See you then, Ricardo. See you on
Okay.
Thursday at 8:15.
Thank you. See
Okay. Bye-bye.
you.
See you. Bye-bye.
Bye.